Okay, let's keep this going. And this one is easily my favorite variation to play against the King's Indian, and I can get it with an English from a particular move order. At this point, I am 24.59 against my opponent, who is 24.81. I have the white pieces. And unlike the previous knight f3 English that I had, which was very solid and grindy, this is going to be a very, very aggressive King's Indian position. We get our classical King's Indian set up, and the main difference is I've held back the g1 knight. Like if I played knight f3 here, we have the quote-unquote typical classical King's Indian. But since I've held back the knight on f3, this gives me the flexibility and ability to play bishop e3. There's no knight g4, there's no nonsense. And I'll often catch players in this position that have no idea what to do. And they'll play the natural looking move e5. And I already feel that white has excellent chances in this position, especially in fast time controls. I love this position for Blitz. And we'll see, this game is pretty much just a crush. And it's always fun to play against a strong player and just kind of push them off the board. So the key move to begin things off is g4. And what King's Indian players are taught is when the center is locked, we're supposed to play for f5. But if I beat you to the punch, where are you supposed to be playing? And just the confusion alone is worth the odd position, so to speak. So black plays c takes d, and a move that I've seen sometimes here is queen a5. But what we end up getting is like an improved version of the same-ish, where black had less options. So I really like the way this plays out. And you can just get this slightly better position where we can squeeze without any real issue. And then you get this blow up, but white is definitely the one that's better prepared to deal with it. And that's a computer-generated line, we'll say, to give an emphasis of how it could go. Well, knight a6 was played in the game, which is definitely not critical. And if I don't have pressure put on me, it gives me the time to place pressure. And now both knights are a bit awkward, and I can continue to press the attack. Well, you're still not threatening anything, so I'm going to keep pressing. f5 is a knee-jerk reaction. I'm not going to allow f4, so let's go ahead and take en passant, capture here, and you got the f-file, but there's really no way to continue to add pressure on me. So I'm comfortable here, and I'm going to go ahead and play knight f3. I want the g5 square for somebody. Well, you forced my hand some. You're attacking my knight on f3. I'm okay with this trade. Now you've developed my queen for me. I'm ready to get out of here if need be. So castling queenside, I didn't feel too strongly about it this juncture because of black being on the c-file with the rook and potential discoveries would say castle queenside, knight a4. So I play king d2. Connect the rooks. There's no pin, nothing really for him to work with. And this was a critical moment in the game that I misevaluated a bit. I played the simple rook ac1, and after b4, knight d1, and there's nothing wrong with this position, but better was queen g4 immediately, whereas b4 is met by the strong knight b5, and we're shutting the position down, knight h7, followed by knight takes d6. And it was activity versus the passive position that I got with rook ac1, followed by knight d1. That difference in queen g4 and activity was huge. Queen g4 frees up my knight on g5 to be able to move, which gets the ball rolling. Rook a b8, he's got to play over here for something. Now, because I missed this queen g4 idea, I understand I need coordination of my pieces. I know that knight on g5's got to move at some point, so I play f3. The knight protects the pawn, which makes the chain. It's pretty unbreakable, and it also gives my queen the ability to swing over to h2 at the right moment with potential devastating threats. Right now, that bishop on g7 is holding it together, but we just need to wait and see. No forcing things at the moment. So rook b6 is played, and he's holding the d6 pawn, but his knights are still awkward. If he plays something like b3, I can just go a3 and keep him shut down. So I've got time to improve my position, so I choose to do so with knight f2. Now the engine, on the other hand, like queen h2 immediately, a3 to shut things down, then knight f2, knight g4, check, and we get something very similar to the main game. You don't even need to take the bishop on g7, and it's kind of ridiculous where the queen falls. Now, that was ideal, but I play knight f2 immediately, then knight g4, then queen h2, so it's kind of similar. We're just missing the whole b3 move. Knight c7 was played. Check. Takes. All right. So here's a good, what do you play here with white position? This is a pause your video and see if you cannot find the absolute best continuation. Take your time. I want you to feel good about the line that you find here. All right, so did you find knight h7 check? The first move's easy. It's a check. No credit for that. You have to see the full continuation. Check, 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 mate. Instant replay on that. Come on, it's just too nice. Check, check. The weaving of the knights with rook h8 mate is disgusting. Well, me being me, I play rook h8 immediately, followed by knight h7, and that's good enough. But there's more game to be played there as opposed to the absolutely beautiful knight shimmy shimmy checkmate. And that'll do it for this aggressive King's Indian.